Hello everyone and welcome back again from the Maniac Guy up here in Maine. So just decided to take a few minutes today and talk to you guys a little bit about, I guess we'll call this part 3 in my painting series, on how to paint your firearms. Really anything. Now I went over in the first video, I did a scope where I did a little bit of just a stencil on that. And then I brought you guys through this rifle here and another rifle that I did to kind of clone it. But what I'll do today is I'll just kind of talk you through the process for anybody that's interested or kind of wondering how this thing works. So this one was one that was done, and I'll do videos on all these rifles eventually. See if I can get this to focus. So this rifle here has actually got, and hopefully it's visible enough to you guys, outside kind of working in the light, so sometimes it's a little tough just out in the backyard here. But this one was actually done from the ground up. So again, just in case you guys didn't watch the other ones, there's a couple other videos that you can tune into if you're just jumping in on this one. This is mainly what I use for most of my stuff. It's a Hunter Specialties enamel based permanent paint, and the stuff is great. So I've had like this rifle here, I've had this one done for, I'm gonna say, right around 7 years, and I don't have wall hangers. This has seen a lot of time out shooting and stuff, and I think the worst that it's gotten is those little scratches there going through the trees and stuff. But again, I could just paint right over that. So the process that I use, the first thing you want to do is you want to take like alcohol swab or something like that, and you want to sanitize and clean all the grease off from what you'll be painting. Step 2 is be sure you shake the paint, shake it, and shake it some more. I usually shake that stuff probably 3 to 4 minutes before I'm all done. Manufacturer says 2, but I like to just make sure it's shook up all good. Big key things, and I've gone through some of this stuff in other videos, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Masking tape. This is just something I've done. Somebody asked me about it on one of my previous videos. I said, when are you going to put something up on how you do your painting? They kind of liked how this High Point paint job came out. And so I said, I will be sure to do that. And so that's what I'm doing. So anyways, off on a rabbit trail. I do that a lot. This is the M&P 1522 that I did. Just decided to do the upper, kind of left the lower alone. Did my mags. My mags have stood up awesome. So anyways, yes, what you want to do, first of all, this Hunter Specialty paint here, it's definitely not like a Cerakote or anything like that. I'm planning on doing a video at some point in the near future where I do Cerakote on a 1911 or maybe Duracoat that I've got on a 45. But for the purposes of this video, shake the paint really good. It is enamel based. It's oil-proof, waterproof, or oil resistant, water resistant, all that stuff. So I spray my cleaners and everything right on it. I haven't really had a problem with it. And again, if you ever do, just touch it up. So this has got a little bit of stenciling on the outside, as you can see, ferns and things like that. But start off, whenever you're doing these things, start off with your lightest color on the bottom. So you can't see it, but I'm all out of it because it's always my base coat. It's what I use the most of, is tan. This, believe it or not, started off with tan. And then as I worked my way out from the tan, when you look at it, it's kind of a brownish, greenish, boy, I'm having a hard time getting that focus, brownish, greenish kind of tint to it. So you always start off with your lightest color. That's your base coat. You get the most on it. Pull all your hardware out and all that stuff. You know, drop your bolts and everything. And then take masking tape, tape off where you don't want the paint to get. And then moving on from there, I'll use sometimes like foam earplugs for the end of the barrel there, to plug up the muzzle, cotton balls for stuffing inside of the bolt here. Once you drop the bolt, you drop it in your chamber, just anywhere where you don't want the paint. Stuff something in there, and the better you do in your prep work, the better the finished product will come out. So moving on from there, nice even coats. And again, if you want to see that in action, I specifically did this other rifle, this other 22 I had, to clone this 300 Win Mag, just to make a video for you viewers. So just follow the instructions on that. You know, stay, you know, a few inches back, nice even coats. When you're going, you don't want to get right in there and shh, because you get runs. Yeah, that's about how it sounds too. Shh. So you start off with your, back on it, rabbit trails and rabbit trails. Hopefully this is all good gleanable information for you guys, though, if you don't know. So your lightest color is down first, and then once you go on from your lightest color, you just progressively go up. So this one had tan, then it had brown, then it had this green, which I've got a ton of this left because, believe it or not, even though it looks like there's a ton on there, it's the only one I've done with green, besides like the mag, or besides that mag right there. And I didn't actually have to use a whole lot of green. Now the very last color that I did was black. And the only thing that black's really doing for me, here, let me come around to the other side, is it's creating this kind of stencil effect over here. So kind of like right in through here, you see how it's kind of giving you that. So that's just a little bit on the top. But what you wind up when you do that, and less is more, you know, less is more. Let's get this Remington out of the way. As you can see, it just kind of, it all bleeds in together, and less is more with this stuff. You'll notice it doesn't like to stick to rubber, is really the only downside. I did this a little bit, and it's got, you know, I mean, it did okay, but plastics, metals, all that stuff, you're good to go. And so, yeah, just remember that. Start with the lightest color, work your way up to the darkest, applying less and less and less as you go. And like with this one here, this has only got 2 colors. I started off with the gray, and then I followed up with a little bit of the black, because I wanted to keep it really basic on that one. But that's how you wind up getting this kind of fading. And pardon the tables, I know they're probably a little dirty, but hey, these are my tinkering tables, shooting tables, painting tables, all that stuff. So we don't care. But that's how you wind up with that kind of fading in and out kind of effect that you see there. You see there, it's not like one solid homogeneous color. It kind of, it fades, and it gives you that malted pattern kind of look. And that's how you get that, is just by starting off with a base color. And while it's still partially, you know, you maybe let it dry for a minute or two, and then you hit it with the next one, and what'll happen is you'll start to get that fading effect. So I know that this was a lot of talking in this video. It's just to give people pointers on where to start. The biggest thing is just start. You know, I mean, you know, it is rattle can paint. It's not a Duracoat. You don't bake it or anything like that. When I'm done with it, I let it sit for a few days before I take it out and shoot it or anything, so everything's got more than enough time to cure. I'll put a couple more pictures, and I've got another rifle that I don't have out here right now that I actually sold to a friend of mine, but I do have a picture of. And that was a 308 Mossberg Patriot. I'll get a couple of pictures of these. I'll try to get them in pretty good sunlight, and put a couple of pictures, like isolated pictures, to follow the video up with these. Please post in the comments if you have any questions for me that I might be able to help you in. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess 7 or 8 rifles with this. And the biggest thing is just don't be afraid to get in there and just do it. And you know, the biggest thing is protect your firearms. Make sure they're safe. Make sure they're unloaded. You know, drop your bolts, drop everything that you don't want painted. And you know, sometimes that requires, you know, to be honest with you, I didn't even disassemble these from the stocks, even though you can. But they came out just fine not doing so. And you know, again, this stock is done and everything, and it doesn't give me any problems at all. You can see there's no wear in through there. I get my hands on it, I use it. And if it ever does, you know, let's say 10 or 15 years down the road or whatever, which this has got, you know, coming up on that, on this rifle here, And also on this M&P 1522, this has been quite a while now that's been done. So if you ever do pick up a ding or a scratch or anything, it's the beautiful thing about this enamel based rattle can paint. You just touch it up, you just hit it again. So that's pretty much the deal with that. Again, please, and I know I'm just kind of rambling with this video was just kind of one of those videos. I knew it was going to be a lot of me talking through. It's not a lot of shooting or outdoor stuff or bushcraft. It's just, this is something that I enjoy doing with the firearms. I know that it's something that a lot of people think that they have to pay a lot of money to a gunsmith, or I don't know if I trust myself to do that. You know, it's if you really want to, get yourself a piece of PVC pipe or a broomstick, or you know, a cheap little blowgun or something, and try it on that first. My first thing I did, and I should have brought it out, but it's out in my barn, it's over in my workshop, is actually a paintball gun was the first thing I did when it stood up to paintballing back in the day. And that was probably, I don't know, I'm gonna throw a number out there and say like 15 years ago. The paint's still on that. My son uses that paintball gun and it works good. And when it was taking hits from paintballs and not losing it, I said, you know, I think we got something here. So I took a leap, and also should have brought my son's 22 rifle out. That one's done, and that was the first rifle I did, and it's never been touched up. And it's been like 15 years, little Savage Mark II. So we'll have to do a video with him sometime. So anyways, hopefully you guys don't mind me kind of talking you through this, trying to give you guys some pointers. I'll be putting out more content as we move forward into the future with more firearms, more gun-related stuff, more knives, more probably hiking videos and things like that. So I really appreciate everybody that subscribes. We're a really small channel, and just kind of getting started off. And this is a fun experiment. My son kind of talked me into starting this a year ago, and you know, I found out I really enjoy it. I just like sharing with you guys, and I'm my own cameraman today, so if it's a little bit shaky, well, I guess hopefully it's not too shaky. But my son usually is my cameraman, but I'm soloing it today. So it was good to have you guys along. It's always nice to have you. And I really appreciate all you guys who subscribe. And we're not big yet. We're at like 240 something subscribers. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But you know, a lot of people watch the videos, and that's really encouraging. So if you see this and you like it, subscribe. Hit that like button. Go ahead and check out some of the other videos I've got. Maybe there's some other stuff over there that you like. My apologies, these guns have been done for a long time, so I couldn't walk you through the painting it. But go ahead and click on over to the page of my videos, and I've got a video out there, two videos out there, one of doing some painting on a rifle and the other one on a scope that you'll hopefully enjoy and be able to put together with this one. And there's a whole lot more doing and a whole lot less talking. So anyways, it's always good to have you guys along, and I really appreciate you coming along for the ride. So alrighty, until next time, have a good one.